How should we do this intro?
Okay,
Dramatic reading?
yeah, sure. Ooh.
Okay, right, imagine that like waves crashing,
Okay.
right? It's like seagulls, right? And then the HCP podcast, home of the certified finest of Flag Means Death podcast in London.
And not because we are the only one in London.
But the best.
But the best, definitely.
The best. Well, how are you, Ty? How are you?
I'm very well today. I've had a lazy day. I woke up late, as always, very unprepared to go back to uni, but it's going to be good. Feeling pretty good. Sun's shining deceptively. I'm sure it's very cold. How are we doing?
Yeah, we are doing good. It is cold today, which is good by me. Woke up late, been doing things as I see fit, drawing a lot.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so just like any other day, but I am going out tonight. So,
oh, nice. Where are you going?
yeah, going to a little house party.
Oh, nice. Whereabouts?
I don't want to give my location away, now do I?
Fair enough.
Well, to start, should we share some tweets we've seen this week?
Yes, let's do it.
Do you want to go first or shall I?
I'm happy to go first because
Go
I
ahead.
have a tweet from our very, very good friend, Ms. Pay. Pay's got a fresh take, which is that Calico Jack would watch step-sibling porn. And I also think that he'd be a really big advocate for it.
Really?
Yeah, I think he'd be overtly like, I'm a fan and it's fine because it's not real. I think that's his stance.
Okay. I think that Calico Jack would watch step-sibling porn because it is the most popular type of porn. I don't think he goes searching for it. I think he's the type of guy who, of course uses Pornhub. He goes onto Pornhub and tip-taps away and he's like, oh, what am I going to search for today? And then it's like new in your area. And he's like, oh, step-siblings, okay. And puts it on.
Like, he's the kind of guy who just puts on whatever he finds.
His favourite used to be Fake Taxi, but his new favourite is Step-Sibling. Okay, so every week we've decided that we will have 3 sections. The first one being tweets we've seen this week. The second one being an opinion on something specific, obviously our Flag Means Death related. And then the third section is a headcanon and discussing a specific headcanon. So for this week's opinions, I slide forth this to you, my friend. What are your opinions on Calico Jack?
Well, I think that we, having discussed this very briefly with you before, I think we have very similar opinions on Calico Jack in the sense that he is, and please tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that he is a lot of fun. I think he's a fun character. And he's pretty great for fertile ground for headcanons, I think.
Fertile.
Very fertile. Very fertile man.
Submissive and breedable.
He's a lot of fun. I think he opens up a wonderful aspect of character introspection for Ed. I think that he's a great opportunity to explore Ed's romantic life and also his extroversion and his hobbies. I think that he's also got a very interesting look. I think I really appreciate the cowboy vibe and his overall greasiness, and I also enjoy the fandom phenomena that he's generated around the trigger warning Calico Jack's existence. I mean, I don't like the man, but I don't feel the same way I do about him as I do about Izzy. I like him much more as a person.
Yeah, I completely agree, but also when it comes to Calico Jack, like, he's only in it, he appears for 1 episode and then dies.
Yes, exactly.
He arrives, he serves cunt, and then he dies. So I feel like with Calico Jack is that he's such a caricature of a character. I like the whole insight at the end of his appearance. You find out that he's really manipulative and that he's been like manipulating the whole situation for his benefit. I think that's really interesting, and if they bring that back, I'm sure they'll probably do a bit more with him. All the gags and all the bits, and the fact that he's dressed like a cowboy and Ed's dressed like a leather biker daddy, it's just, it's too funny.
I agree. Definitely.
It's too funny to take seriously, and on that hand, I also think that enjoying him in fanon and making like art and fanfic where he's just taking that caricature of a character, because it's like when they have sex, of course you can just have him being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fucking fill you up with my load, I'm gonna cream.
And the classic pina coladas, Papa's getting cold.
Papa's getting cold. Papa's getting lonely. It's so fun to play around with it. And also, every single rom-com needs the egotistical, lust-driven ex relationship that the protagonist thinks is like what they deserve or what they should go for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I really appreciate that.
I completely agree. Me too. I appreciate Calico Jack.
I appreciate another aspect of him I appreciate is that he delivers one of my favorite lines, which is, you know, we're all at various stages of fucking each other over, which I genuinely think is a great moment, and it's funny, but it's also, you know, it speaks true to the
poignant
life they live in. Yeah, exactly. It's poignant, and also just the world in which Ed's existed this whole time. You know, this has been his previous relationships with everybody, always kind of on guard, and there's always been a very manipulative dynamic, and I think we get that insight to his kind of normal.
Well, let me ask you this. What is your favourite Calico Jack quote? Is it the one you just quoted?
Ooh, I quite, okay, well, I like this line a lot in terms of just the show, but I think if we're thinking Calico Jack, he's got a lot of good lines. I really like the fact he calls Izzy a sentimental bastard. I always enjoy that.
Moving swiftly on to headcanons, before we move into our big one, let's just keep on Calico Jack for a hot second. Do you have any headcanons concerning Calico Jack that you'd like to share with the group?
I have one particular headcanon concerning Calico Jack, which is that I think in a modern AU, I think Calico Jack would be the kind of guy to send Ed like cum shots or videos of him jacking off with no audio but edited country music blasting over it. I'm talking like bass turned up, like.
Okay, so what, he's like in his apartment? Are they like, is it completely out of nowhere? They haven't been texting.
Yeah, no, it would be out of nowhere, but it would also be like if Ed's like, you know, do you want to come over tonight? And he'll be like, yeah, here's a taste of what to look forward to.
It's like, okay, a modern AU, so he's in an apartment. The apartment is filthy. He has like his whip on the wall, a cowboy hat, his cowboy boots, and then like a PlayStation 5 with one remote. And then it's just the whole thing is just covered in beer bottles, beer cans, and pizza boxes. It's like a neckbeard nest, but he has like a few really expensive items that shouldn't be there, but they are.
Yeah, including like a really, really nice vintage guitar that he definitely doesn't actually realise how nice it is.
So true. And a really nice vintage like record player, I reckon. And he's only got like Neil Diamond. Yeah. Like, let's say it's New York.
Sure.
Small apartment. And you know, he's sitting on the sofa and he's watching
Ice Road Truckers.
Yes. Okay, so Calico Jack is sat on the sofa and he's watching Ice Road Truckers. And him and, I don't know, Ed texted him being like, do you want to come over? And Calico Jack has read it quite a few hours ago, but he was doing something. He wasn't paying attention. So he looks back at the message and Ed sends him another message and is like, okay, fuck you. And then Calico Jack is like, oh, let me get him excited. And then he like just out of nowhere sends a completely unsolicited dick pic.
The quality is awful. I mean, it's grainy.
3 pixels.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah.
Even worse, he's wearing cowboy boxers. With little horses and cowboys, and his cock's just like hanging out of them. And Ed gets a message and he's like, "Ooh."
He's just like, he definitely like leaves it on red or like replies something really dry, like, sounds good, and then like a flaming heart or something.
But finally, what is your most wanted celebrity cameo for season 2, and who would they be? But we're going to keep it in a realm of what would be like, of somebody that actually could be in the series.
For me, it is a basic answer, but I think Jermaine Clement would be a wonderful Hornigold, and I think...
Give me that crab from Moana vibes.
I want him to be like... I mean, I want him to have a big fancy hat. That's the first thing.
Yes, and a really long hair and a beard.
Definitely. He needs to just have the jeweled look.
So you're saying Hornigold?
Definitely. I'm on the Jermaine Clement train. I mean, that's my first and most wanted answer.
My favourite and most wanted cameo. Okay, you have to hear me out before you judge me, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna have to set the scene for you a bit. I was gonna draw a comic about this, but it just got too convoluted, so I left it. So this is like my one chance to show this idea. Okay, right.
Okay, I'm strapped in. I'm so excited.
So they're like, okay, let's stop at port. Let's get wait, sorry. Okay, let's stop in port. Let's get some supplies.
Your steed gets a little old lady-ish as the day goes on.
Anyway, everyone's like, okay, we're going to port. We need to find some stuff to repair the ship. And then Steed's like, listen, like, we are a very talented crew, but there are some things that just surpass our talents. We need a carpenter. So they call one up, right? And they're on the deck, and maybe Ed and Steed are in the midst of a tiff, and then they're like talking, and then the light all kind of dims, and there's a voice, and a muscled arm reaches over to grab the side of the ship, and there's an Australian voice, and it goes, you guys need a carpenter. And Chris Hemsworth pops his head up and he flicks his long glowing hair, and everybody turns to look at him, and everyone, like, the sun's behind him, he's radiant, he's glowing, and everyone turns to look, and everyone's salivating apart from Steed. So Steed's like, oh my god, hey chap, like, so nice you can make it, we need you to fix our ship. And then Ed looks murderous. So then Lucius runs over to Chris Hemsworth, and Lucius is like, oh, that climb up that ship must have been so hard on your back. Do you need me to give you a rub down? And then Chris Hemsworth is like, oh, thanks, but my type is blondes, and like looks at Steed and winks. Steed, of course, is like, oh, fair, everybody has their type.
Yeah, he's oblivious. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
He has no clue, and Ed is fuming, and then that interaction would fuel Ed and Steed finally, like, making out and crying. And
I've read a fic just like this.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, pretty beat for beat similar. I think
was it Chris Hemsworth?
I don't think it was Chris Hemsworth. I think Chris Hemsworth adds nothing but delight to this scenario.
Oh, I think he'd have amazing banter with Taika as well, like and it's like he can obviously tell that Ed and Steed are like a couple, but he's like really pushing it.
I like it. I think it's good. It's like, it reminds me a little bit of so I read another one in which somebody's inserted Pedro Pascal, and he appears as this beautiful, romantic Spanish man who attempts to seduce Steed and take him to see some moonflowers or something. He's like, they only appear on this island once a year, and they bloom, and they're so beautiful, and I know that you would like them, you delicate flower. And they kind of whisks him away, and Ed's obviously seething with jealousy, and it's pretty fun.
See, I'm truly so sad. I'm such a saddo that even when I'm reading fics and Steed like voluntarily goes off with any potential love interest that isn't Ed, even if he thinks that they're just going on a nice walk, I'm like, nope. He'd be asking Ed he'd be like, Ed, come with me. Like, I'm such a sucker for them being like absolutely inseparable. But Pedro Pascal maybe could change my mind. Well, that was fun.
A lot of fun.
Well, I feel like we just went out for a coffee, but it was digital. We slay.
We continue to slay.
Well, thank you for this.
Thank you. It's been wonderful. I don't know how we should sign off.
Neither do I. Maybe I'll just have it I don't know, a closing of a door. Goodbye. And the door closes.
Sure. We can just be like, all right then, bye.
Bye. Okay, bye.
Bye.